Hey, what's up guys, it's Nick2. Today I'm going to make a quick video showing you guys how you can giga juice your maps, not only for significantly more loot overall, but also just to make it a lot more fun. I'd highly recommend taking advantage of this sooner rather than later. As more people find out about it, it might be a little bit more expensive to actually do this. Basically what you're going to do is you are using certain consumables to invest in your mapping, and then your maps are going to have crazy amounts of modifiers on them, giving you significantly more loot and much higher mob density. Also go over a couple like generic tips for you guys and ways that you can min-max this a little bit more. There's a million different ways to juice your map, so I'm not going to go into all of them. This is just something that I've been using recently and I found it to be quite helpful, and I've had a lot of questions about stuff, and I've had recent success. Like yesterday I just farmed up 10 divines pretty much just doing this. So here is a quick video on how to do that. Couple things you're going to need. First thing you're going to need, by the way, you can do all these independently of one another, so you don't need everything, but first thing that you want is a white map. The reason that you want a white map is because the first thing that we're going to do that I'd recommend is Omen of Sinistral Alchemy. By the way, all of these things that I'm going to talk about you can buy at the currency exchange here. You just want to say I have exalted orbs, and then you can just find all the things that I'm talking about here, all the distilled stuff and all the omens down there. Anyways, an Omen of Sinistral Alchemy, what this will do is it makes your next Orb of Alchemy apply the maximum number of prefixes. The reason that we want this for our map is that prefixes are all of the good stuff at the top, such as increased gold area found, increased number of mobs, increased number of rares, all of the really good stuff. And the suffixes is all the cancer, like temp chains, burning ground, all the stuff that gets you killed. Monsters have 50% res, like basically using this is going to allow you to get the maximum number of good stuff on your map. So I'll just demonstrate what that looks like. So here I got magic monsters, gold town, and magic pack size. And then I only got one bad thing. Ideally here what you want is rarity of items found and maximum number of rares. You can get 45, like upwards of 50% maximum number of rares, and that is the best possible outcome, but I'm okay with this as well. The second way to juice this, and you don't have to do this Sinistral Alchemy thing, but what I'd highly recommend doing almost all the time is using a distilled. Any of these distilleds are going to apply some sort of modifier to the map, and the prices on these range. Paranoia is currently one of the more pricey ones, but you get the money back like almost double fold by just running the map. Especially, I mean, one divine will pay for doing this for like 10 maps as well. So now that we have any of these distilled, and I'll show you what they do, we want to put our map in here and we get this little tab. Don't move because it'll close it out, and the only way to reopen it is by right-clicking a distilled, which is pretty annoying. As you can see, if we put 3 of these in here, it's going to increase the number of rare monsters by 45%, which is really good, and also make us delirious. I'll talk about that in a second, but there's multiple different types of distilleds. I like this one because I really like rares, but it is more expensive. There we go. Can you mix and match? Well, I just learned something on video. You can mix and match. So that's pretty good. Distilled Ire gives you increased number of magic monsters, so that one is okay. And then Distilled Greed gives you number of rarity of items found, and I believe Greed is much cheaper than Paranoia. And Guilt gives you increased pack size. So you can mix and match these however you want. Recently, I've just been running triple Paranoia because I like having a bunch of rares. And then we're just going to instill this, and then boom, now we have a big map. Other ways to min-max this, and I'll show you guys a map run with this, but other ways to min-max this are going into your Atlas tree here and refund Atlas passives. I'll just show you guys how I usually have it set up. I was trying out some tech, which I'll show you in a sec. But you want to go for unstable energies. Waystones have 25% more effective prefix and suffix modifiers. The stuff that we're putting on the map counts as prefixes. These things here, and I believe this gets scaled up too, not 100% on that. There's also other nodes here for increase effective explicit modifiers, blah, blah, blah. And this activates when you actually open the map. Now we need to pick which map we actually want to do. Ideally, you want to do a map that has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Pretty much always aim for one that has a breach, because this is just super high value with all the monsters, and you can get a ton of rares within just one breach. And then you want either corrupted or irradiated, so it has +1 extra level. And ideally, you want to do a map that is surrounded by multiple towers. So if I went and did this tower, and this tower, some of these maps here would have all the additional benefits. So if I had 3 towers in range, and then I put in the right tablets, and the best ones to get are things like increased number of magic monsters, rare monsters, increased quantity of items, and rare items, and even stuff that is containing like breaches. So for example, if I went to this tower and I put in a breach modifier, this map right here would probably have breach as well as increased magic monsters and number of rare monsters. I would do this tablet here so that it increases the amount of monster density, blah, blah, blah. If there's a map near you that already has breach, for example, these ones already have breach, then the best thing to do would be irradiated so that or irradiated so it increases the mob level, and then aim for like generic loot stuff. I don't want to go to this tower. I just want to do a map real quick, so I'll kind of just demonstrate that. Savannah is going to blow up my computer, but I'll run this map here. It's only a 14. It's the only white map that I had, but I just wanted to demonstrate it in the video. So I'm going to pop this map. Now, one thing you can do that is a clever use of in-game mechanics and potentially an exploit. By the way, your map is going to be Foggy Cancer. I'll explain why in a sec, but it's because we are delirious. But one thing we can see here is that because we have the increased prefix effect, these numbers are juiced the crap up. Increased number of magic monsters, increased number of rares, all the way to 77%. And when I popped the map, it was not that high. That's because of the thing that we have in our atlas. Now, what you can do, if you want to do this infrequently and only use the giga maps on super good places in your atlas or on the actual map device, one that's like buffed by like 3 towers or something, you can pop it with the Atlas passive, and then you can come back to town and unallocate these points now that this is already active on our map. And then you can go into stuff like this for increased rarity, increased quantity, blah, blah, blah. And you could min-max this even more than I am doing right here. I don't know if my Atlas is ideal, by the way. I have this for increased effective precursor tablets, and then this is just for more loot, and this is for more rares in total, which scales very nicely with the rare monsters found. You could min-max this more if you wanted to. I've been messing with this. This is garbage, actually. Let me remove that. I wanted to try out this one. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to actually do the map. Another thing is that getting rarity on your gear is going to make this like 100 times more effective. You can get very high amounts of rarity on rings and as well as your helmets and boots. So I would go out of your way to try to get some rarity find. You can also use soul cores to give you rarity. Alright, so now you'll see that the map is all foggy, and that is because we are delirious. So we're in like basically a delirious map, but we don't actually have to activate delirium. And the nice part about this is that we're going to kill mobs, and they're going to drop these simulacrum splinters. I don't have my loot filter on, by the way, so it's not particularly obvious. These simulacrum splinters currently are worth, one of them is worth 0.8 exalt. So if you just loot multiple of them throughout the map, that is basically going to pay for your cost of entry by itself, and then all the loot that you get from just killing monsters is also pretty good. I'll ignore this. I'll just beeline right to the breach so you guys can see the amount of loot that we get. I'm messing around with the skill tree setup, and also while I record, my FPS is, yeah, not ideal. But we're getting some precursor tablets, which is nice. All these rares. I just want to get to the breach and kind of just demonstrate like all the amount of loot that we're getting, because that's doing the breach is like where most of the juice is. You'll also get these mini bosses that are like delirium mini bosses that spawn, and they always drop 3 splinters, and I get one like 1 in every 2 maps doing this, so that pretty much pays for it by itself as well. But you also just, because you're killing so many rares, you just get a ton of exalts. How much stuff you get is also going to be dependent on like, you know, your quantity find, your rarity find, that sort of stuff. Yeah, you can see that my game is currently having an aneurysm. You spawn a whole bunch of rares, but you need to kill them quick. This map modifier has lightning res, so it's a little bit rough. As you can see, the damage is not anything. Okay, yeah, just push me around like that. That is very cool. Yeah, not my best gameplay showcase, but you know, it is what it is. All those guys. I just did this breach, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the ground, and I actually have a second breach because I have this spec in my thing here where I have a chance to get multiple breaches, which is pretty decent when doing this strategy, because if you get multiple breaches, that's a lot of extra loot. Before I pop this, I want to say that my game has been lagging like crazy. I went and got myself a 9800X 3D, and I'm still having the same issue. My FPS on average is much higher, but you'll see when I pop this breach, my game becomes almost unplayable, and it's lagging so bad that it's like despawning my sparks and like making it to where I can't cast as fast as my cast time, and it's really miserable. I don't really know what to do. I've tried like a million things, and my game is kind of just unplayable at this rate. But anyways, I'm just going to pop this and kind of focus on staying alive. Just wanted to let you know that that has been an issue, and it makes doing stuff like this very hard. I've tried like literally every setting, in the game. And I just realized now that because all the loot is there, I kind of can't see anything. So let's turn that off. And these mobs have, I don't really know what's going on. My double shock is like straight up not working in this map, which is a little bit unfortunate because I have a lot of stuff spec'd into shock currently. So yeah, but you know, it is what it is. We make do. I am trying to test a lot of stuff with the build currently. So kind of doing that on a map by map basis. But as you can see, FPS is going down to like 50. When mobs explode and die, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and it gets pretty hairy sometimes. Like this mob is just not getting shocked and not. I don't know. I don't know. This breach. I mean, the loot is probably pretty good. I guess we'll see when I actually, you know, show it. This breach was okay. I'll go over here. There's probably more mobs over here. I have a thing where clicking the hands is good, but I have the hands turned off because I literally can't see right now with all loot on the ground. Kill those guys. But I mean, basically, I mean, if you're juicing the maps with, you know, triple the amount of magic mobs or rare mobs, you're in it. Oh, I have a third breach. Very nice. My computer is probably going to explode. I tried to record this last night, and I did a breach, and then my game crashed, and I near cried. And then I went back into the map after my game crashed, like mid-breach. There was a divine on the ground. I went back into the game, and then it loaded me into a breach that was happening, and my character was animation stuck as I joined the map, and then I died and lost XP. So, yeah, I spent a bit of money on my processor just for it to not fix the problem, and the game to kind of be unplayable. And it might even be worse now because I, oh my god. What am I supposed to do, GGG? What am I It's too much stuff, dude. It's too much stuff. I'm going to do this next breach, and then I'm going to end the video. Alright, because I'm scared my computer's going to crash, honestly, from all the loot and stuff. My ailment inflict is, like, so bad on this map, and I do not know why. It is, like, not good. But yeah, I'm convinced that, like, so when I record, my FPS is a little bit worse. And I'm convinced that because of my FPS, like, I'm not casting as quick as I could be, and it is, like, actually nerfing me. I could just be complete cope. But it genuinely feels that way a lot of the time. A lot of the time, like, there are certain maps where the mobs explode and die, and them exploding and dying just completely ruins everything. I go to 20 FPS, and then I will look at the mob's HP, and it just doesn't move. And there's other times where my FPS is perfectly fine, and the elites that I encounter get literally instantly killed. It would make sense with, like, Spark having so many projectiles, and maybe if the game is lagging, I don't know, it's incapable of doing all of those damage calculations, or maybe projectiles are despawning, not lasting, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely making this up. Purely anecdotal. But yeah, I just got map completion literally just from doing the breaches, and I still have, like, an enormous amount of the map to do. So yeah, this is definitely a strategy. It's interesting that it's showing me the loot. Is that another breach? Okay, no. Oh, I'm still in the same breach, and it is another breach. Ordinarily this would be good, but it's just like, dude, I want to get out of here because the lag is just. I'm sorry to cry about it. I am truly sorry. But, like, I can't even tell what's happening a lot of the time. And, like, my game flashes, and it's, like, I'm 50 FPS right now just because I'm in the breach. I'm surprised that breach lasted that long, dude. I could have stayed in there forever. I could have stayed in there actually forever. Alright, let's just take a gander at all the loot. I don't want to look through all this, bro. No, dude. Oh my god. I need to re-enable a loot filter that is a little bit stricter. Okay, that's it for the video. Yeah, okay. You guys get the idea, alright? Have fun farming.